Hey everybody, today I have new music out. It is called Without Sleep. The album name is Fragments, and I hope that you'll give it a listen. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Sadly, I have to do it in this sickened state, which is a pain in the ass. I went on tour, came back, got super sick for a number of weeks. It went away, and then it came back, so it's creeping up behind me and trying to kill me. It's been super shitty. Anyway, we can also address the other elephant in the room. I love elephants. I'm aware that this shirt makes me look like a grown-up 8-year-old, and I like it. I might buy another one just to wear them at the same time. So this album, wrote it with a guy named Ben Anderson. He's from a band called Nothing More. Hopefully you've heard of them. Badass band. And we did a collaboration cover years ago, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. And first, before that, I did a collaboration cover with Mark Vallelonga. He's the guitarist from Nothing More. And then one of my friends knew Ben, and the drummer from Nothing More, and we did a collaboration cover. And it turned out really well. I didn't really talk to him during the time where we were filming that and everything, and I didn't really pick up on the fact that, like, that he wanted to talk to me or anything like that. I couldn't get a read on any of the stuff through emails and things. But anyway, strangely enough, after that was over, probably a couple months, he reached out and was like, hey, I like your voice. Would you consider singing on some of the stuff I wrote? So I was like, yeah. And it came at this perfect time because I was ending a 17-year relationship. And music was definitely a problem in that relationship all the time. And I know people on Patreon have heard this stuff because I've been talking about the album and how I've written it. So apologies to you fellers and fellas. I don't know. Apologies. Anyway, what the hell am I saying? I was ending a 17-year relationship. Ben was ending a 6-year relationship, something like that. I don't want to speak on his behalf. But anyway, that kind of brought some of us together in terms of what I was writing about and everything. And I was mentioning that music was definitely a problem within my relationship for 17 years, as I've always been a musician and have not been able to stop that obsession. And it definitely created a lot of turmoil and a lot of problems, from house to house to, to this, to going on tour, to money, to spending money on guitar, all this kind of stuff. So anyway, when that relationship was over, I didn't actually feel like I could really write anything because it felt stupid and it felt trivial, and I was in a bad place. And God knows, I'm still coming out of that. It's been about 3 years now, but when you're with somebody for 17 years, more of your life with that person than not with that person, your life's going to be a little fucked up for a while. So anyway, thankfully, this person, Ben, came along with this music, and it was almost like the universe being like, oh, you can't write your own stuff? Well, here's something that you can still write through. And I didn't really have to put in all that crazy, obsessive work. I did do that with one song, and that one's the last song on the album, called Our Bitter End. I started writing that the day that me and my ex-wife broke up, because I was so completely fucked. But I couldn't finish it for years. It was very, very difficult for me to finish and to try to call done. So anyway, as we continued working together, Ben wrote almost all the music. I might have helped here or there with certain things, like chord changes or, this bridge or something like that. But I was definitely happy to say that this is a product of his brains. And I just got to put my lyrics and my vocals and stuff on it. I also am proud to say that he mixed and mastered the record. I kind of, I wanted it to be the best it could be, but I also kind of loved the fact that we're both mix engineers. We're both these type of audio people. I was proud that he mixed and mastered this, and I kind of wanted him to in a way, because it meant more to me, and I think it would have meant more to him, in that it's his music, and then he put his spin on every single part of it along the way, mixing, recording, everything. So anyway, it was mixed and mastered by him, and it comes out today, like I said. The songs, for the most part, these songs are reminiscent of the breakup I went through, the difficulty with that, the ridiculous difficulty of then moving to a state thousands of miles away where I don't know anybody and dealing with the extreme isolation and, having no fucking idea what I'm doing. And then there was another relationship that ensued, very short one, that made its way into the album too, thanks to that person. And anyway, Nothing More is I don't know what you would describe him as, because I don't care about that stuff anymore. Like, people are saying post rock. I don't care. So they're a heavier rock band, and that is not what we wanted to set out to do with this. Some people that might find my music or find me or whatever might think of me as some version of that in some ways. Whatever. But in this case, I approached everything much more vulnerable and much more quiet. And my voice, I had trouble with my singing voice for about 5 years. I had quit music, or tried to, because of my relationship problems that I mentioned. And then I started losing my voice. Figure that one out. So when I was trying to sing the songs that I was writing with this stuff, like, I didn't really have too many options. I had to kind of go lighter. And I enjoyed that. I wanted to go more vulnerable and more light. So anyway, it might not be what you're expecting, but it'll resonate with the people that it resonates with. A psychic that I had talked to told me that now that this stuff had happened, I was able to write from my heart instead of my head. And I thought that was cool. Whether you fucking believe in any of those things, I don't really care, because it did some things for me, and that's kind of what it matters at the end of the day, right? So anyway, Without Sleep, Fragments. Why did I call it Fragments? Thank you for asking. Fragments was a word that was in my mind for years before that, and I knew I wanted to call an album that. Basically, the digital age has us all fragmented into these. We're putting our personalities and our ego and our self-worth in all these different channels and things, and we have no idea what that means. And then we like to pretend, at least older people like to pretend, that it's very trivial and doesn't matter. And then we have kids killing themselves over, being made fun of on TikTok or something. Like, it's intense. And in a way, I'm kind of talking about the fragmentation of the self into these different channels, which I guess in a sense, if we get into AI and all that kind of different shit, is what needs to happen so that we can create AI and, all that crazy stuff and that crazy conversation. But anyway, I knew that I wanted to communicate about that, and I knew that it was something happening, and I knew that I was being called in some way, shape, or form to bring more of that into the light and talk about that. But on top of that, then going through the breakup and stuff had me completely fragmented into so many different pieces, and dealing with those pieces and seeing those pieces from a distance and up close, and processing myself. So it all kind of congealed and made sense to communicate about that and to call the album that. I don't know if there's anything else I should say about this. I just wanted to talk about it. I just wanted to be able to tap in here really quick and fucking celebrate a second of the fact that this album is done and it took so long. And I'll put the links in the description. We have merch and we have all these different things. I hope some of you will listen to it. I hope it resonates with some of you. And thank you. Thank you for joining me. I will be putting lesson videos up and hopefully being able to sing here. I want to put up a lot more things. I also want to mention, I need to find a female vocalist. It's been years that I've been kind of passively trying to find somebody, and people are always either too famous and they don't get back to you or whatever, or it's just not the right situation. I just don't really know that many people. But I'm going to be putting up a video about that. If you're watching this and you think that might be you have a recording set up, maybe you have some followers, you have, a female voice in that. I would like a higher voiced female to accompany me on these different things. For harmony purposes, and then I'm scoring a film where I need a female lead for that, but I'm looking for a higher voiced female with a feminine type of voice for this. So anyway, okay, thank you everybody.